You need to hear this because everything just changed in the last 24 hours. Alex Bregman just signed with the Cubs, and the domino effect this creates for the Blue Jays is absolutely massive. We're talking about Bo Bichette's future, Kyle Tucker's landing spot, and a complete shift in how this entire offseason is going to play out. Stay with me here because this gets wild. Alex Bregman signed with the Chicago Cubs. 5 years, $175 million. That's $35 million per year for a third baseman who's been great, but is definitely on the decline. Jeff Passan confirmed it, and just like that, one of the big four-position players left on the market is gone. The Jays have been linked to Bregman pretty heavily before they signed Okamoto, and honestly, I'm taking Okamoto's deal every single time. $35 million annually for Bregman is steep, but good for the Cubs, I guess. Here's where it gets serious. The second Bregman signed, a report dropped that the Boston Red Sox are now turning their full attention to Bo Bichette. Think about what that means. The Red Sox just lost out on re-signing Bregman. Before that, they lost Rafael Devers in extension talks. They're desperate for an impact infielder, and now Bo is sitting right there. This is the nightmare scenario Blue Jays fans have been dreading. Bo going to Boston, playing half his games at Fenway, facing Toronto 15 to 20 times a year. That's a disaster. But wait, it gets even crazier. Late last night, a report came out that the Yankees' negotiations with Cody Bellinger are at an impasse. The Yankees were hoping to bring him back after he played well for them, but now they're apparently operating under the assumption he's signing elsewhere, and they're looking at other options. This is huge, for multiple reasons. If Bellinger goes to the Mets or back to the Dodgers, that significantly increases the likelihood of Kyle Tucker landing with the Blue Jays. Think about it. The Yankees were supposedly one of the teams in the Tucker mix. If they re-sign Bellinger, they're out on Tucker. If Bellinger goes elsewhere and the Yankees don't pivot to Tucker, that's one less major bidder the Jays have to worry about. The Red Sox aren't going after Tucker because they're laser-focused on Bo now. This is potentially lining up perfectly for Toronto. The Yankees reportedly offered Bellinger a 5-year deal worth at least $30 million per year, and he turned it down. Makes sense when you see Bregman just got 35. Scott Boras represents Bellinger, and we all know how Scott operates. He's going to squeeze every last dollar out of this negotiation. There's actually some reporting that Boras and Brian Cashman are basically beefing right now, going at each other through the media. It's entertaining, but also shows you how tense these negotiations have become. Here's my take on the Bellinger situation. I think there's some leverage being played here. Remember last year with Pete Alonso? Reports came out that the Mets were done, there was a huge impasse, the Jays got interested, and then boom, Alonso re-signs with New York at a discount. This could be the same playbook, but even if it's just leverage, the fact that we're hearing about an impasse means something is off in those talks. Now let's talk about what this means for the Jays. The pressure is absolutely on Ross Atkins right now. If the Red Sox land Bo Bichette, Toronto cannot walk away from this free agency class without another major bat. But if Bo goes to the Red Sox and the Jays don't land Kyle Tucker, what are we even doing here? Bregman's gone, thankfully to the National League and not back to Boston. Yes, they made improvements. Vlad's locked up. They got Okamoto. They traded for Dylan Cease. That's all great. But is it really a win if you let your homegrown superstar go to your division rival and don't replace that production? The Bregman signing also tells us something about the market. If he's getting $35 million per year, what does that mean for Bo? Bo's younger, plays a premium position, and even coming off his worst season, he's still got all-star upside. I could absolutely see Bo getting somewhere between $200 and $250 million now. Different player, different position, but the market just got set higher than people expected. This is why I think the Jays have been so aggressive pursuing Tucker. They know Bo might be leaving. They've known it for months. Every report from Ken Rosenthal, from Robert Murray, from Mark Feinsand, they all say Toronto is the leader for Tucker. George Springer's been recruiting him. The organization has been all in on this pursuit. And now with Bregman off the board, Bellinger potentially staying with the Yankees or going to the Mets, the path is clearing. The floodgates are starting to open now. Bregman was the first big position player to sign in weeks, and I suspect we're going to see a rush of signings over the next few days. Bo's meeting with the Phillies is coming up if it hasn't happened already. Tucker's camp has been playing teams against each other, but deals are getting close. You can feel it. One other quick note, the Tigers are showing interest in Chris Bassett and Lucas Giolito. Bassett's been a name floating around, and honestly, I'd love to have him back, but it's unlikely with how many starters Toronto already has. If they bring anyone back, it'll probably be Max Scherzer on a short deal. Bottom line, the next 72 to 96 hours are going to be absolutely critical. Bo could sign any day now. Tucker's decision could come right after. The Yankees and Red Sox are scrambling. The Jays are positioned better than almost any AL team, but they have to close. Ross Atkins has done a lot of good work this offseason, but none of it matters if they whiff on Tucker and watch Bo go to Boston. The margin for error is gone. It's time to finish this.